right, welcome to Yard Work this week. You voted for it and you asked for Jerome Baker. Yard Work dedicated to Jerome Baker. And I will show you why they extended him this summer. And Jerome Baker is really adept at doing many things correctly. And one of the things he's very well adept at, or very well schooled at, is recognizing what an offense is attempting to do. The Dolphins are a nickel here, and this is against the Seattle Seahawks. Very good offense. Okay, and we're going to run it a little bit. Let them set up. And it's not important what's going on out here. What is important is that Jerome Baker is showing a B-gap blitz, right? And this is Travis Homer right here, who you kind of have like man right here, right? You can kind of tell it's man, and it's like a two deep look, right? So who's going to pick up this guy? Well, he's on the left hash, right? So it's probably Jerome Baker's guy, right? Unless they bring this guy up, or they bring him over, or they play him into flat zones, right? It's many things that they can do to just get the flats, which is what you want to get against somebody like Travis Homer in this type of thing, because usually what teams like to do in these formations, and it looks like they will have four pass catchers out in the pattern and possibly a fifth in the back, is, you know, they'll clear people out deep, and very rarely would you see Travis Homer try to push somebody vertically, right? So obviously he's either doing this or he's coming out here to this flat. Sometimes he's going to sit right here and he's going to either option this way or option this way. So it's about recognition. If you lose him, you could leave a running back all alone in the middle of the field, right? Very rarely is he going to threaten the safeties. The safeties are worried about the perimeter threats. Okay, now let's clear this up and let's see what happens. And we're going to move forward because we already recognize what they're trying to do, right? So we're going to move forward, and you're going to see it right here. And we're going to start playing it, and we're going to slow it down. As you can see, Jerome Baker's looking at his keys, right? And we're going to stop it. And the Dolphins are doing that thing where they're going to have a man in every gap, right? So Jerome Baker could be blitzing the B gap, but it doesn't look like he will, right? He might be responsible for Travis Homer, or Kyle Van Noy might be responsible for Travis Homer. One of them is probably going to come because they're going to have numbers here. They can take Travis Homer one-on-one. So what do the Seahawks do? They do something rather clever. We're going to run it and move it up. And now we're going to slow it down. And here's the snap. And we're going to stop it. Obviously, Van Noy is on a rush. What's Jerome Baker doing? He's looking into the backfield. And he has two responsibilities. He's going to float. He's going to try not to get sucked in. If you notice, he did not press the hole. So he doesn't care about freeing up somebody on the inside. He knows he can't press the hole, because if he presses the hole and the guard picks him up, he's going to leave a lot of room behind him for a running back to get out on an option route, right? So he is looking at two things. He's spying Russell Wilson, and he's watching Travis Homer. Now let's run it. He slides. Erases Travis Homer. Russell Wilson gave him a brief look. Came completely off of him. Good recognition by Jerome Baker. Another thing that Jerome Baker is surprisingly pretty good at is holding up against the run, and especially against runs run right at him. These are the San Francisco 49ers, and they have pretty good running attack. They had a decent one last year, too. And this is Raheem Mostert, who's a really hard runner. Okay? And this is their fullback, Jozelnik, I believe is his name. Very hard to pronounce. But what they're going to do right here is they're going to try to run an action where it's essentially a lead, and it's run right at Jerome Baker. Now, what does he do? How does he hold up against this? They're going to give up 4 yards on this run. But what was there to give up? And I'll tell you what the play is right here. As Kittle sets up, and Baker's noticing something, and we're going to stop it right there. Kittle has a lean when he lines up, so obviously they're going to get a double team. They're going to get a double team right here on the perimeter, right? And they're going to try to use the fullback to kick out the outside linebacker, as the Dolphins are, as you can see it, in a 4-3 flex. And Mostert, it's going to read a key off of this. It's going to key off of this block, and he's going to either bounce it to the outside or run it right in here. So what does Jerome Baker do? Let's run it. Jerome Baker's reading the play. He's flowing with it. Engages the blocker. Almost plays to the outside, but then cuts off the block and gets the tackle. 4 yards. And this is interesting, and we're going to run it back so you can see it once again. The running back reads this correctly, by the way. Because as you can see, and we're going to run a little bit further back, as you can see, Jerome Baker is making sure he's setting the edge. He's going to push this back inside. He's not going to let it go outside. And if it goes outside, it's probably a tackle for a loss. So Raheem Mostert reads this correctly and it's going to cut inside of him. But who makes the tackle? Jerome Baker. For a 4-yard gain. So that's a success. That's a successful run. But you know what it's not? A 40-yard gain, as that hole completely developed. And a Landon Roberts, in this case, is a little late to fill. So let's finish it up. Jerome Baker gets off the block, makes the tackle. And this is instructive. If you see right here, who is there to make the tackle? Bobby McCain is on the backside. Eric Rowe is the last line of defense. He's in long pursuit. Landon Roberts is blocked. Emmanuel Ogbah is blocked. Xavier Howard is blocked. Jerome Baker is the only guy that got off of his block. 4-yard gain instead of 40. Great play, Jerome Baker. I'm going to give you a bonus play from this same game. Dolphins do something really interesting here. Okay? They're doing one of those overload blitzes. And in this case, it really is zero blitz. As the 49ers, if you notice, no Jimmy Garoppolo. He's injured at this point in this game. And the 49ers are in the comeback trail, but they are down 21 points. So what do the Dolphins do? They're just throwing the kitchen sink at them, and they're bringing numbers. They're bringing numbers that they can't block. So what do the Dolphins do? Several times what they had done is that they had stunted with Van Noy, and Baker had pressed the hole as a blitz and then dropped into the short zone. He had done it several times. This is done by design for this particular play, because in this play, Cavanoy is going to shoot the A-gap and try to induce the double. And Jerome Baker's just going to fire through the B-gap and see if they have enough guys to block what's coming to them. And evidently they don't. But this only works because of the speed of Jerome Baker. Let's just run it. As you can see, it's in motion. It's man. And it has to be man because this is obviously a zero blitz. Look at the numbers the Dolphins are showing. So how many are going to come? And it's the snap. And you see the rushers. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4. And 1 in contain showing. So sometimes when you press the hole, you can make an offensive line do all kinds of things, including picking up an A-blitz, an A-gap blitzer in Kyle Van Noy that allows one of the fastest linebackers in the NFL to get in on your quarterback. And what's impressive is that when Jerome Baker gets in there, he finishes the play. That's a sack. Jerome Baker really is one of the best A-gap and B-gap blitzers in the NFL. He also has a pretty good step rushing from the outside. So, pass rusher, he is. 7 sacks last season. These games the Dolphins play at the line of scrimmage with threatening all these free blitzers can really wreak havoc on a quarterback. And in this case, I'm going to show you 2 more plays that Jerome Baker is directly responsible for. And you could make a case that he is responsible for both turnovers on these plays against Jared Goff. As you can see, 6 rushers, right? There's 5 in. It's 11 personnel. So what is Jared Goff thinking? All right, where's the rusher coming from? All right, there's numbers here. There's 1, 2, 3, right? I got 2 rushers right here. 1, 2, 3. 2 blockers, my center. So my center's going to have to help on somebody. Maybe he's going to come back and give me a little cushion on my backside. But who is on the way? Who is coming here? One of them is going to press. Maybe they're all going to come, right? So we'll see what Jared Goff sees. And we're going to slow it down. And stop it. Jared Goff is looking this way. He's a smart quarterback. No matter what people may say, he is well schooled. Sean McVay prepares his quarterbacks very, very well. And what does he see? Well, he sees Jerome Baker in a full rush. But is he? No, he is not. Jerome Baker's not in a full rush. And you know why? You'll see why. Presses a hole to induce a blocker. Gets Jared Goff going one way, and Jared Goff throws hot. And he's throwing it right at a defensive tackle that dropped into coverage. Now, why is that? Because he looked off of Jerome Baker coming after he pressed the hole. You could see it on the video. Let's watch it again. So Jared Goff, there's free blitzers, right? In the B gaps, both B gaps. You have 2 wide 9 guys. And here comes Jared Goff, right? Here's the snap. Remember, there's 3 rushers on the right side. Jared Goff is looking to the right. He sees all 3 coming. So if all 3 are coming, who's hot? I got to go left, right? Left is where my hot route is, right? Well, not when the Dolphins drop a defensive tackle right into the short zone and Goff throws right at him. Great play call. Good execution by Jerome Baker. Here we go again. Dolphins are showing 0 blitz again. And this time Jerome Baker is lined up once again in the B gap, and he's threatening a blitz. But this time they have, let's count them, 1, 2, 3, 4 rushers, 2 blockers, and a back. So what are you usually taught to do in this case, right? Well, you count the numbers, right? So you're on the left hash for the Los Angeles Rams. So if you have 1, 2, 3, 4 on this side, right? You have a cornerback over here. You have a safety. That's 5, 6. If all 4 come, you got 2 and you got 2 pass catchers, right? So you got man to man, right? So if you got 2 pass catchers over here and you got 2 defenders, where are you going with the football? Are you going where there's 3 defenders and 2 pass catchers over here? Or are you going where there's 2 defenders and 2 pass catchers over here? You go where there's 2 defenders and 2 pass catchers. It's simple numbers. This is simple. This is quarterback play 101. What you don't account for is when a linebacker can get there on the B gap blitz. And let's run it. Jared Goff correctly recognizes what's going on, Byron Jones is in what looks like it could be a trail, or it's man up, or it's trail. It's trail. And Jerome Baker gets in, gets the hit, and it's intercepted by Eric Rowe. Why is this play made? Well, first of all, they induced the throw. And let's bring it back. They induced the throw because it's man-to-man on this side. Jared Goff is going to go where there's 2 defenders for 2 pass catchers, not where there's 3 defenders for 2 pass catchers. But that won't work if a linebacker can get to you on a B-gap blitz. And Jerome Baker is exceptionally fast, and he does get there. Byron Jones, by the way, I don't understand what technique he was playing on this play, but it is interesting. That's Josh Reynolds, by the way. And you see Jerome Baker. He's fast. He gets a hit right on that arm. That ball actually wobbles out of there, and it's intercepted. So, unsung hero from that Rams game. He was probably responsible for 2 turnovers on that day. All right, this was probably Jerome Baker's best game of the year, which was against Kansas City. He had 2.5 sacks, and he forced a lot of errant throws. And this is particularly one of his better plays of the game. And as you can see, they're showing pretty wide splits right there, but they're trying to keep Pat Mahomes inside the pocket. That only works if you have good edge rushers that could get around end, and you got to be quick about it. Because in this case, they're going to have 2 wide rushers. Are they going to bring 6? It looks like they're going to bring 6, but they don't. They bring 5. They're dropping 6 into coverage against 11 personnel. And let's just run it so you could see Jerome Baker's work off the edge here. Now, the Chiefs understand what they have to do, and the tackle's going to try to pick up Jerome Baker. Jerome Baker's picking up some type of cue off of Mahomes there and is telling his corner something. So, Jerome Baker gets a good jump. Good back pedal right there. Good kick slide by the tackle, but he just gets beat. He just gets beat. Pure speed. Now, if he overruns the quarterback, it's no good, right? But he gets right to the quarterback. Good play by Christian Wilkins as well. Collapsing inside, reading what Pat Mahomes was going to do. Great pass rush. All right, this is exceptional play design. And it's not by the defense where Jerome Baker plays. It's by the offense and Josh McDaniels. They are in 21 personnel, right? And what the Patriots are going to do right here is they're going to bring motion across. And when they bring the motion across, Byron Jones is he's calling out the motion. And they're going to place, they're just going to match up, right? So it's a matchup. So in this case, Byron Jones is going to be off. And he's going to call it to this side, which will be Xavier Howard. He'll pick up the man on this side, right? And there's several nuances to this play. And we're going to run it, and then so you can see it. And we almost got to run it really slow so you can understand what they're doing with this route combination. Exceptional communication, by the way. In this case, by formation, Jerome Baker has the fullback in the flat, right? Like it looks that way. We'll see. So you can see, Byron Jones is off. He's calling the safety high. And he's passing him off to Xavier Howard. And now he's taking the 2, which is Damiere Byrd, one of the fastest guys in the NFL. And we're just going to run it straight through. Damiere Byrd gives a good jab step, comes across, and look at the wash. Look at that wash that was created. What do you have here? What do you have here? You have one of the fastest players in the NFL coming on a crosser. And this is man-to-man. And this is man-to-man. And you have about 70 yards this way with one of the fastest players in the NFL. and a linebacker, Jerome Baker. Dolphins have problems here, right? This is a problem. By mere play design, excellent play design, they've created this wash in the middle of the field, and now Demir Bird is going to come wide open on the crosser, and he has one man to beat, really. He has Jerome Baker to beat, a linebacker. Running nice and slow. Look how wide open that is. Cam Newton recognizes it, delivers the ball right on the money. As the ball's getting there, where's Jerome Baker? He's about 8 to 9 yards away, right? Let's catches it. He's 5 yards away. This is one of the fastest players in the NFL. Look at Jerome Baker where he's at. He's 6 yards away, right? Never mind that the first down marker is right here. So, all he has to do is get 4 yards against a linebacker. One of the fastest players in the NFL. 4 yards against a linebacker. If not, make a miss and score with it, really? Why not, right? Score with it. Here comes Jerome Baker. That's a 3-yard loss. Jerome Baker is an exceptional tackler in space. This is one of his better plays of the season.